SacTown Movie Buffs TV with your host, Kier Stoves.
What is up? Welcome back to another edition of SacTown Movie Buff Television. Once again, it's your boy Kier the Critic, and today in the studio we have makeup artist, set builder, actor. I don't know, you do a whole host of things. Mr. Robert Reimers. 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 I said it right the first time. Sorry. Second guess myself. How you doing today?
Not the first, won't be the last yet.
Well,
doing great, thanks.
Well, great, man. Well, thanks for being on the show today. So yeah, definitely, you have a really vast background and kind of what you do. And I know we've met in the past at various functions and events and things of this nature. I mean, how did you get into this kind of stuff where you did makeup and set design and that sort of thing?
Well, honestly, I think it's kind of been a part of me my whole life. You know, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved movies, and then I've always been a creative type. Like, say, for my birthday, there'd always be the family member that would give me a box, and in the box there'd be tape, paper, string, some pencils, and some foil, and I'd be like the happiest kid ever because I could make my own things. And kind of just translated through my love of special effects in movies and practical effects, and just kind of figuring out my own way of doing that stuff in the garage or the backyard. And then it wasn't until I was a teenager that I really started using cameras and making my own short films, and so naturally I ended up being the special effects guy in my group of friends.
Right. Very cool. And I know you worked on some local projects here as well. You know how many films you've worked on, or short films or projects? Or
worked on a
videos?
number of films. I work at a couple haunted houses. I do a little bit of set building. Makeup is probably last on the list, but I do makeup once in a while, and prop making, acting, a lighting technician. I do a director of photography. I do editing as well.
Very cool. So just kind of a jack of all trades. If you had to zero in, what would you say is your favorite aspect of filmmaking or in that realm?
As far as crew, my favorite aspect of filmmaking would be cinematography and editing.
Okay.
I think those two things I love doing, and not everybody likes editing, but I actually enjoy the process.
Really? Oh, yeah. I know I hate it. So
yeah, it's
so
very
I'm always
technical.
looking for an editor because I hate editing. So it's a very technical, and you know I'm a fast-paced person, so you got to be really, really tedious, and so you have to have somebody that enjoys kind of doing that. That's very cool. And then I know in a few weeks you're going to be over at Sinister Creature Con, which is I think where I very first met you. So there you do a lot of props and designs there as well, or?
That's right. Yeah. Usually I'm with the other featured artists who normally do makeup demonstrations, and I'd focus more towards costumes and props. And so I'll usually have some new costume that I created to display out there, and people come up to me and I talk to them about the things that I've made the costume out of, because that's also part of the thing that people really love about my work is that I'll take everyday objects and I'll take them apart and I'll save like my favorite looking pieces, and then I'll put them together into something completely different, and then I'll give it a paint job, and you wouldn't even realize that's what it was until you look up close or I tell you what it is. So it's in a way it's kind of like Wasteland style stuff,
right,
you know,
right,
like
it's Mad Max, future retro kind of things going on there.
Right, I've done a lot of more like rustic looking stuff like that, but recently I've gotten more into doing kind of like runway style stuff.
Okay, very cool.
Very more beautiful looking, but it still has that rustic and kind of brutal look to it.
Yeah, yeah. And I know some of your stuff is just really like lifelike. How long does it take you to like make a project and put it like a full ensemble piece for somebody?
From start to finish, conceptually, it could take months. You know, it depends on the project, the deadline. If somebody comes to me with a more clear vision, I can accomplish that a lot easier.
Right.
But if it's
they
something,
kind of know what they want to do, it's a lot easier versus like, hey, you figure it out. You know.
Right. Or like, I got this whole bucket of all these random pieces. Can you turn it into something cool? And then that's obviously going to take way longer because it's more conceptual and looking at the individual pieces versus I've got this monster creation that I want, and it needs to be this kind of creature and have these features. And so something like that is a little easier to get done in time conceptually because the client knows what they want.
For sure. Absolutely. Very cool stuff, man. I like your work. I like what you do. It was really cool when I saw you at Sinister Creature Con. You're definitely
Thank
somebody
you.
I want to talk to and find a little bit more about. If people want to get involved, if they want to, utilize your services and use your props or makeup or anything of that nature, how would they get in contact with you?
They can find me at robreimers.com. That's ROBREIMERS at just robreimers.com. Or you can find me on Linktree as Zombert.
Zombert. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
Greatly appreciate it.
It's
And I'll
great
be
to be
seeing
here.
you in a couple of weeks at
Absolutely.
Sinister Creature Con.
Yeah,
so I'll
come and
definitely,
yeah.
I'll come by and find you and say hi.
Come and find me. All of you.
Everybody, find this guy. He's really good at what he does. Thank you again for watching another episode of SacTown Movie Buffs Television. We'll be back again soon with another episode. Have a great day.